Good morning, guys. Mr. Petrowski, aka Mr. P here. This is our introductory lesson to kinetic energy and potential energy. It's July 21st, 2020. This is for Long Branch Schools. And let me introduce Bob. Bob is a Minecraft character. However, Bob's going on a roller coaster today. To say hi, Bob. Okay. So we're going to be talking about roller coasters, and we're going to be talking about kinetic energy and potential energy. So for your pre-assessment, you're due now. I'd like you, please, to look on number 1 and answer the following questions very quickly. Number 2, what is kinetic energy? And number 3, what is potential energy? I'm going to give you 30 seconds to do that. Just fill it in. All right, guys, now that that is done, we're going to look at our introductory video.
You may be surprised how much math and physics go into amusement park rides, and more specifically, roller coasters. Common roller coasters don't have an engine, so something has to keep it moving through its fun and intense track. The key to making a roller coaster move is energy. Well, the roller coaster uses a motor to get to the top of the hill, and in the process, it is storing energy for later use, which is called potential energy. Then, you finally get to the top of the hill and gravity pulls you down the track, which increases your acceleration and velocity. This turns the potential energy to kinetic energy. Kinetic is energy that is being used or energy that is caused by motion. The roller coaster goes faster with more kinetic energy being used, which is why the car gets faster towards the bottom of the hill. The change between kinetic energy and potential energy changes throughout the ride. Eventually, the energy turns to friction from wind, the rolling of the wheels, and the brakes on the track. So you can blame friction for stopping the speed and enjoyment of your next roller coaster ride.
All right, guys, great. So potential and kinetic energy, it said on the video, kinetic energy was caused by motion, or it has motion. Potential energy, energy, like if you're at the top of a hill on a roller coaster. Let's check out what our PowerPoint has to say. Okay, our PowerPoint, kinetic versus potential energy. Here are some guided notes for the PowerPoint. I'd like you to fill these in, please. Number 1, energy, the ability to do what? And blank, an object. It's measured in joules. That is the SI unit. Let's take a look at our PowerPoint. Okay, so we have kinetic versus potential energy. There's our roller coaster. There's Bob again. And our first point, energy. How is a roller coaster able to travel up hills and do loops without an engine? I don't know. Let's check it out. So energy, the ability to do work and move an object. It's measured in joules. The ability to do work and move an object, like Bob in the car, moving an object. Okay, so on your guided notes, energy, to build the ability to do work and move an object. It's measured in joules. The SI unit to measure energy is in joules. Fill it in. Okay, now potential energy is the energy blank in an object due to blank and blank. Let's check that one out, okay? Potential energy, energy stored in an object due to position and gravity. Energy stored in an object due to position and gravity. So, energy stored in an object due to position and gravity is potential energy. Bob at the top of the hill. Okay, third point, kinetic energy. Energy of blank carried by a blank object. Kinetic energy. Energy of motion carried by a moving object. It's the energy of motion carried by a moving object. When Bob is moving, there's kinetic energy. Energy of motion carried by a moving object. Let's please put in our notes. Energy of motion carried by a moving object. So, potential energy versus kinetic energy. Okay, potential energy versus kinetic energy. Potential energy is stored energy. It's Bob at the top of the hill. It has high potential energy than low kinetic energy. The higher the object, the more potential energy. In other words, the higher the hill the Bob's on, the more potential energy. Now, when Bob goes, it's called kinetic energy. It's the energy of motion. High kinetic energy than low potential energy. The faster an object moves, the more kinetic energy. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. Notes. Potential energy is stored energy. Okay. High potential energy than low kinetic energy. The blank higher, more the potential energy. Okay, then we have kinetic energy. It's the energy of motion. It is high kinetic energy when you're moving down the hill, then low potential energy. And then we have the faster an object moves, the faster an object, the more kinetic energy. And that is your notes. Okay, our post-assessment is a quick Kahoot. We only have a couple minutes, so let's get rolling. Okay. Kinetic versus potential energy. I have my cell phone. I'm going to simulate students playing. My game pin is 503-2804. Enter. Mr. P. And we're starting. 10 questions. Are you ready? Sure. When is kinetic energy the highest? Kinetic energy, energy of motion. Bottom of the hill. When is potential energy the highest? When Bob is the highest, that's potential energy being high. That would be A, top of the hill. Potential energy is highest on the top of the hill. When is kinetic energy the lowest? Kinetic energy is the lowest. Top of the hill. When kinetic energy is the lowest, it's the same thing as potential energy being the highest. When is potential energy the lowest? Bottom of the hill. Okay? Potential energy the highest is at the top of the hill. Potential energy the lowest, bottom of the hill. Obviously, we would take more time doing this. What is the SI unit for energy? That would be known as joules. Blank is stored energy due to position and gravity. Stored energy is potential, has potential. The higher it is, the higher the potential energy. Blank is the energy of motion, something that is moving. Hello, Bob. That would be kinetic. Kinetic is the energy of motion. Kinetic energy and potential energy have blank relationship. One goes up, the other goes down. Okay, here's potential, here's kinetic. As one goes up, the other goes down. Okay, this is known as what type of relationship? That is known as an inverse relationship. Inverse relationship is one goes up, the other goes down. Question 9, law of conservation of energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change forms. Einstein said this. Is it true or false? It's absolutely, completely true. Been proven to be true. And 10 out of 10. Learning about kinetic potential energy is... I think it's really fun. You can't go wrong on this question. It's either fun, cool, or really fun. I think it definitely is fun and cool and really fun. Bob thinks it's really cool and fun. When he's at the top of the roller coaster, he has great potential energy. When he starts going, his great kinetic energy. Okay, they have an inverse relationship like this. As one goes up, the other goes down. As one goes up, the other goes down. See how I did? I did okay. 10 out of 10, as you will too. All right. Here is our quizzes on our post-assessment practice quiz. I'd like you please to check that out. The link is right here. You can go back in and also do the Kahoot. The spelled it wrong. Homework. So sorry. Please forgive me. My bad. Homework. Work you do at home. Okay. The quizzes is here. And it's joinmyquiz.com. Code is 263364. Join that. We're just about out of time. That is your homework. And your extra credit is to design a roller coaster. And the link is on your, right here on your notes. Okay? Design a roller coaster. In other words, very quickly, what you're going to do, it talks about kinetic energy, it talks about potential energy. You go to this link on this page, you push the begin button, you're going to join and read these directions. You're going to pick on the left sections of a roller coaster, and at the end, it's going to show you whether or not you did a good roller coaster, whether it's safe and whether it will work, and whether or not Bob here will die on it, or Bob will have a good time on it. Okay? The directions are self-explanatory. I'll be on the open Google Meet from 7 to 8 p.m. tonight. You can come in and we can do this together as a group. We can do it individually. It's basically you pick one and then click that, and you go to the next part. First part was the first hill, and now we're coming down the slope. You pick a slope, all right? And it'll tell you why you made a good choice or not at the end, and then you can retry until you make a good roller coaster, and Bob doesn't die, and everybody's happy. And we went over potential and kinetic energy, and it's Mr. P saying, have an excellent day. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.